Welcome back. So you've decided that it's a good idea to repeat the 21.1, perhaps after Dave Castro shared Sean Sweeney's Instagram post and you realized that you didn't quite hit the standard, or maybe you just had some reps left in the tank and you know you can go faster. In this video, we're going to break down some observations about the workout so far, look at the filming and the standards, just talk about it briefly, the wall walk, the double unders, how can you squeeze more out of those movements. Then we're going to talk about making a plan, analyzing your performance, and turning that into something objective that you can use to get better. And then finally, we're going to touch on the warm-up, making sure that you do a good one. I'm sure that by now you've realized that this workout is really going to be about those wall walks. If you go back and look at our announcement show analysis, that first time we saw the workout, we already knew the story, but we've been gathering more and more data from top athletes and normal people, so to speak, and all the numbers just verify this. Got a couple observations for you specifically about this. One is two elite athletes, relatively similar times, one about 40 seconds faster than the other one. The only difference, the cycle rate on the wall walks. In fact, the athlete who was slightly slower, not only did they have faster double unders overall, they also had faster transitions. And they also had less drop-off from their fastest wall walk to their slowest wall walk, compared to the athlete who just had a faster cycle rate early on in the wall walk. And then even though they had a bigger drop-off, they were still able to keep a pace that allowed them to finish about 40 seconds faster than the other athlete. So that's quite significant to know. The faster you can cycle the wall walks, the better off you will be. I'm not just talking about the rest between the reps, I'm also talking about minimizing the time under tension and doing faster repetitions. The second observation that's quite significant, especially for those of you who are not yet so proficient with the double unders, is that we've had an athlete with a recent knee operation that they're still recovering. They were able to do the workout by completing all the double unders in sets of 10 to 15 repetitions, and they still got 89 double unders on that final set of 210. So take a moment to think about that. If you need to break down the double unders, it's not going to be a big deal. If you take short breaks, the double unders, it's not going to be a big deal as long as you can keep a fast cycle rate through those wall walks. So just two observations there to really drive in the point that the wall walk is where this workout is at, almost regardless of your level. Now, the other important topic is the standards and filming. We've had a chance to watch a lot of videos and we've seen errors in both. So first of all, make sure you go back and read the instructions. Read how the workout needs to be filmed, what needs to be shown. Make sure you measure the line correctly. If you're in centimeters, it's 25.4 centimeters, 10 inches. Make sure you get that right. Make sure you show your full body in the frame when you're measuring the second line. And then make sure, of course, that you're in a position that is required. So feet together, knees straight, feet flat against the wall. Just go back and read those instructions and follow them point by point so you don't have to worry about the filming, okay? Very important, we've seen mistakes with this. The second one is going to be hitting the standard on the wall walk. So make sure that you understand that the feet need to be on the wall before the hands can move, and you have to start and finish every rep flat on the wall. Also on the way back, make sure that the feet are on the wall until the hands reach the line. Again, it's a simple thing, go make sure you read the instructions, but it is a slightly counterintuitive standard, so it's difficult to adhere to as you're doing the workout. So you might want to have someone who's going to help you stay accountable to make sure that all of your repetitions will count. Okay, let's talk about those wall walks. Now, if you go back and you use our analysis tool that I'm going to talk about later on, you can see what your cadence was on these. But I want you to think about that if you can do one wall walk 1 second faster on average than you did before, you're going to save 55 seconds. So that's going to be quite significant. So really investing time into figuring out the best way for you to do the wall walk is going to pay off. Now, the first thing that you need to do is to hit the standard, of course. But then how can you gain efficiency? Well, through practice. There are a few things that you can change perhaps. One is the hand position. You might want to consider turning the palms out slightly on the way up, reduce the pressure on the wrists, improve the blood flow to the upper extremity, especially if the double unders are still challenging for you. You might want to go a little bit wider with the feet as you're climbing up to keep your center of gravity a little bit lower, reduce the lever arm on the shoulders, And you might also want to keep your knees slightly bent as you're starting to go up. You want to go with big steps. You want to use your shoulders as much as possible and let the elbows stay as straight as they can be. You don't want to do a lot of pushing. When you start the rep, you want to probably push your chest up first with the knees still on the ground, then lift your butt up and then lift the feet up and then start to move the hands. You want to make sure that you practice watch some high-level athletes do this, so you can, scroll through your Instagram. For example, Turi Helgadottir looks very good doing her reps, so you can learn from her and learn from other athletes. See what good performances look like on this. Look at people with fast times, make sure that they hit the standard as well as you watch them. But you want to see how other people do it. So hands turned out, elbows are locked. You're using the shoulders on the way up, maybe slightly wider feet, slightly bent knees. And then the way down is really going to be significant. The ratio here is about 4 to 3 or so. So you're going to take about more steps on the way up than you will on the way down. The sooner you get your hands on the line and the sooner you can flop down, the faster you will be. And you want to practice this, and you want to wear the right shoes that you can slide on the tip of the shoe, but they're still grippy enough on the way up. And then you want to consider the surface. So kind of like a Dolomer mat like they used to use in the regionals, they use at the games. Those mats are very good. You can use martial arts mats, something where you feel comfortable, that you have good grip, but you also feel comfortable falling down on from the wall. It's going to really make a difference if you can save some time on the way down. It's going to not only save you energy, but you can gain, half a second a rep just by flopping down a little bit faster. So make sure you practice the wall walks. You will make a big difference in your score if you can just shave off 1 second each rep. Now onto the double unders. The good news with the double unders is that, like I said before, you can break them into sets and still get a great score. So don't be too worried about them. They are really your opportunity to breathe and relax. So how can you do this? Well, make sure that as you're spinning the rope, your elbows are slightly away from the body, the hands are about where your hip crease is, the palms are slightly turned in to have a more relaxed shoulder position. The wrist movement is more up and down than circles. And you want to be looking straight and down a little bit, about 3 meters in front of you, to have a nice fixed point in there and to have a good tall posture. Now these tips are from Molly Metz from Jump and Rope, so make sure you check out some of her content on Instagram as well. You get plenty of good tips for the double unders, but the key point here is to stay relaxed, stay efficient, and don't stress if you miss a rep or if you have to take some breaks. You can still get a good performance. So you have all this information. How can you turn that into an actionable plan that's going to give you a better result? Well, the first thing to do is to analyze your performance. And if you go to our website, there is a free Google sheet that you can use to analyze your own performance, and then to create a new plan based on that. And you need your scorecard and you need your video. So you're going to watch your video, you're going to make sure that your reps count, you're going to get a good idea of your movement efficiency, and just look for opportunities. First, kind of subjectively. Then go on the sheet, look at your scorecard with the split times. Hopefully they're there, otherwise you have to go back to the video. And record your split times. Make sure you understand how the sheet works. There's a tutorial on that on the website. Look at your scorecard and enter the numbers on the sheet. And the sheet is going to give you your cadence per each repetition. And you'll be able to see where you started to slow down and how things looked. From there, you can bring that information on the other side, copy it over, and then start to plot in, what if I can go a little bit faster here and here and here? What would that look like for my final time? And that's going to be a really nice objective way of seeing exactly how you performed, where the drop-offs were, and where the opportunities were. Now, the wall walk is of course the obvious opportunity here. It's a new movement, and when there's a new movement with a new standard, just the fact of having done the workout once, you have learned how to attack it better. What I mean by that is that your nervous system, your brain is more ready to handle the energy distribution throughout the workout, and you are very likely to perform better just even if you don't do anything, but every little thing that you do is going to make a difference. Remember that if you can improve the wall walk by 1 second, that's 55 seconds or throughout the workout if you are aiming to finish or if you get through all of the wall walks. The other opportunities will be on the transitions, but realistically, unless you are very slow, this is maybe about 20-second improvement. So not nearly as significant as the wall walks. The double unders, if you can do bigger sets, that might give you a few seconds, but remember that it's also okay to break the double unders down a little bit if that saves you for faster wall walks. So don't worry about them too much. Now, the other things that you can do to improve are, of course, maybe better fueling and better warm-up, maybe better rest and recovery before the workout. So you'll find resources for those on our website, and we're going to tackle the warm-up general ideas next. Let's talk about that warm-up. So we have 3 things that we think are important here: blood flow, range of motion, and wall walks. Blood flow really is everything from getting your heart and lungs going to supply oxygen in the muscles, to getting that blood into the local muscle groups that will be doing the work around the shoulder, around the ankles, the calves, most importantly. Now, when we think about the range of motion, we want to make sure that you can get overhead comfortably on those wall walks. And we also want to make sure that you can get comfortably at this bottom position here, so that shoulder extension needs to be open. You're going to be spending a fair amount of time here, and we recommend that you rest with the hands on the side to relieve any pressure here and get more blood flow into the extremity. But you will be here, so you need to make sure that this range is also open. Take into account the double unders, that your calves need to be ready for them, your feet need to be ready, but also your shoulders need to be ready, so you have good relative range of motion in there and you don't end up in compromised positions as you do the double unders. Then finally, the wall walk. We've talked about this a lot. Make sure you understand and practice the standard, and then look for those little tweaks in efficiency, minimizing the time under tension and thinking that the way up is more steps, way down is less steps. And really, if you can flop down from the top while maintaining the movement standard, you can save a lot of time in there. So take the time to practice the movement in your warm-up, and I think you'll be successful in repeating the workout and getting a better result. Good luck.